So these two distance measures we are going to discuss: house drop distance and edit distance. House drop distance is mainly used to compare two geometric shapes, and edit distance we'll see that this is mainly used for comparing two strings or two words. Okay, so let's say the problem is to compare this shape with this shape, right? So I mean, you see clearly this is a triangle, so it's a geometric shape, and you are trying to compare it with another geometric shape. Okay, and when you are comparing, it's not necessary that, I mean, these shapes are of similar nature. They can be very different. This may be triangle, and then maybe square, and so on. So basically, these shapes are actually defined with the help of these set of points, which are, I mean, let's say you can, in this example, they are joining these lines. So when you are comparing these two shapes, we are not comparing, I mean, in some sense, these lines and all, but we are comparing these set of points. Okay. So whenever we talk about distance between anything, we always mean by shortest distance. So suppose we are talking about distance between a point and a plane, so we mean shortest distance. If you say that x is d distance from P, even though if we don't say we don't say shortest distance, we mean that distance is going to be the shortest distance. Right? So if the same notion we apply on these shapes, and let's say when we are matching shape A with shape B, and if we say that these two distances are d distance apart, so here also we mean by this we mean the shortest distance. Now, how you will compare the shortest distance between shape A and shape B? So the criteria could be: take one point here, compute the distance of this to the shortest point here. Similarly, take another point here and compute the shortest distance to another point here, and so on. And whatever you get, you take the minimum of that. Okay. Yeah, one more thing, let me just tell you. So when you are comparing this shape with this shape, you don't have only these points which are defining this shape. There are a lot of points. I mean, even you can consider the points on line, in these lines here, the interior points which you have inside this region. All those points basically are being compared with the points that you have here. So if you are comparing the minimum distance between these two given shapes, you can say that you can consider, one by one the points in one shape and compute the minimum in the other shape, and then out of those minimum you compute the minimum overall. Right? So you can define the formula like this, where let's say you are comparing shape A with shape B. So from shape A you take a point A, which is from A, capital A, and then from B you take all possible points and then compute the distance. Whatever distance you are getting, that gives you one minimum, right? With respect to one A that you got from A, with respect to that, you are going to get one minimum. Let's say that is M1, right? And you can say that when A was A1, you got M1. Yeah. And when, let's say when A is A2, again, A2 will be compared with all the possible points from B. And then let's say you get minimum M2. So, I mean, if you have, let's say, in capital A, 100 points, so with respect to all 100 points, you will get 100 minimum. And out of those all minimum, whatever global minimum you have, that will define the shape between say between A and B. Okay. Now, when we define the shape between the two shapes like this, there are some issues. For example, if you let's say just compare this image or this shape with this shape. So if you just compute the distance using the formula that we defined, you will find that the shortest distance will be defined by the distance that you have between these 2 points. Okay. So let's say this shortest distance here is, let's say, 10. But now you see that there are so many other pixels. I mean, using that formula, you can say that these two shapes are just 10 distance apart. But there are a lot of points in this shape and in this shape which are who have much larger distance as compared to 10. So if you compare any point here and any point here, you will find that they have, like, I mean, at least 8-9 times the distance that you have here. So in some sense, this criteria of defining the distance between two shapes by computing the minimum of minimum doesn't give like a very good notion of distance between the shapes. We can we can see another example. Yeah. So here, I mean, the same thing. So if we are placing these triangles here like this and compute the distance, the minimum is going to be defined with the help of these 2 points, but that minimum does not say anything about the points which are, like, say, for example, here and here. These 2 points are very far from each other, but we are saying that the shape has just distance, let's say 10, as we said in the previous example. So this is one problem. Like the notion that you are getting from the distance does not actually represent all the points or the distance for all the points. And the second problem is, suppose, let's say we have these two shapes again considered, and let's say these shapes are now, they are not placed like this, but they are placed like this here, right? Now, if you compare the I mean, if you just do analysis, you will find that visually these two shapes are looking far from each other, but comparatively here, these two shapes are looking close to each other, right? But if you compare the distance, you will find that whatever distance you are going to get here, it is exactly same as what you are going to, what you have actually between these two dead points. So distance has not changed, but with respect to shape, a lot of things have changed, right? So here visually they were appearing a bit far, but when you are just displacing this one little this side, they are looking now close to each other. But in terms of distance, both are, I mean, this formula is saying that they both have the distance, same distance. Okay. So just to handle this, these problems, Hausdorff proposed a new distance measure, and he defined that in the Hausdorff distance, it is the maximum distance of a set to the nearest point in the other set. Okay. So if you see the formula here, here with respect to shape A, we are considering a point A, and from B we are finding out all the possible points, and then we are computing the distance. Whatever distance we are getting, we are just recording that. So let's say, so for point A1, the distance is, let's say, M1. Now we take another point from A, and again compare the distance of another point from A, let's say that is A2. So, and we compare the distance of this point to all the points that you have in B, and with respect to that, let's say you find the distance M2. So in Hausdorff, he says that you don't take the minimum of minimum, you take the maximum of all these minimums. So when you are defining maximum of all these minimum, you can say that any point of A is at the most at distance HAB, and I'm sorry, this should be DAB. Because we are using D here. So let's say this is D here. So the distance of any point of A is at the most at distance DAB to some point of B. Right? So if you tell your distance in terms of this value, in the previous example, if you see, the distance that you are going to have here will be more than what you have in the second example. Right? So at least that these issues that we have discussed here, they are resolved if you take the maximum of the minimum that you are considering with respect to these two shapes. And one more thing we can notice here, that when we are comparing shape A to B, we are considering points from A and we are comparing them with B, and then computing the minimum, and then overall we are computing the maximum. But if, let's say, you compute the distance between B and A, so you say that you will see that the placement of A and B in this formula, they will change. So B will come here and A will come here. Okay. So because of that, you will see that it is not guaranteed that what DAB you are going to get the same you will get here in case of DBA. Right. So that is why this distance measure is not a symmetric distance measure, and since it's not a symmetric distance measure, again we can simply say that this does not define a metric distance. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now, normally, we can consider one example where we can use this distance measure. So for example, let's say you have a face. In case of fingerprint, I mean, if you remember the example we have given, then in fingerprint, two fingerprint images are represented with the help of some set of points. Okay. So let's say one fingerprint image has these set of points. Another fingerprint image has some other set of points. Now, if you let's say want to compare them, one way could be by using Hausdorff distance, because if you just let's say take the convex polygon for these points, you'll find that let's say this is the polygon which encloses all the points, and you have another polygon, let's say like this, which encloses all the points. Now you can use the Hausdorff distance to compute the distance between this and this shape, which where the shape is nothing but just the where the shape is defined with the help of those set of points. Right? So if whatever distance you are going to get with respect to these shapes, that is nothing but the in some sense the distance between the two point sets that you have considered. Okay. Yeah. And one more thing you can observe here, that whatever set you are defining here in these examples, the overall distance is going to be decided by the convex polygon actually that encloses all these points. Okay. So what you have inside are, if let's say you have 100 points, but on your polygon, if you let's say it's a triangle, then the overall distance will be dominated by, or will be in some sense you can say will be decided by just these 3 points. So whatever points you have inside, they actually in fact doesn't matter. So that is you can say one kind of one drawback of Hausdorff distance, because it only considers the exterior points. It does not consider the interior points. Similar example you can have, let's say where if faces, let's say you are representing by, let's say the denoting the locations of eye corners, nose, and let's say the lips corner and the middle of the lips. Let's say these are the features which you are using to represent a face. Okay. So again, these are coordinates, and with them, if you have the coordinate, I mean, you can define a polygon or convex polygon for this. And similarly, if you have another face, you may have another polygon here, and these two polygons can be matched by using the Hausdorff distance. Okay. Again, Hausdorff distance may not be a very good way to match these set of points, but I'm just giving you an example to have better understanding. If you have to really match two given faces, you have to go for robust matcher. But I mean, just for an example, you can consider this case here. Okay. Now let us discuss another distance measure, edit distance, and this is mainly used for comparing the words and strings. And this was given by Levenshtein, so it is called Levenshtein distance. And in this distance measure, as we are saying that we are comparing words and strings, so we basically want to find out when the two words are given, how different they are, whether they have exactly same characters or they have different characters. If they have different characters, then how many different characters, and so on. So we can define edit distance like this. So it is basically the minimum number of edit operations that you require to convert one given string to another given string, or one given word to another given word. So if you are, let's say, comparing X and Y, these are the two given words, and you want to find out the edit distance between them. So you have to find out how many operations you need to do to convert a string X to a string Y. Now let us see what are the possible operations here. So the possible operations that we will require here are these three operations: insertion, deletion, and substitution. You will see that by using these three operations, we can convert any given string to another string. And as many operations, and the cost of every operation you can consider a unit. So if you are, let's say, to convert a string X to Y, you are using three operations. So the cost will be 3, or you can say the distance is 3. And all all these operations have the equal cost. So one insertion or one deletion or one substitution is going to cost 1. Okay, so let us consider this example. So suppose you have one word idea and another word deal given to us, and we have to find out the distance between these two. So now again we have to find out how many operations we need to convert this to this or this to this. Okay, I mean either way we can consider. So let's say we are converting idea to deal. Okay, so one thing what you have to do from idea, you have to remove I, because in deal there is no I, so you have to remove I. Okay, and so when you remove I, it becomes DEA, and then you have to insert L in this to make it deal. So we have to remove from idea, we have to remove one character, and we have to insert this character to make it a deal. So how many operations it requires? We see clearly that it requires 2 operations. We can say one is the delete operation that you are performing on I, and another is the insertion operation that you are performing for L. So the distance between these 2 words is 2. And we can see here, like suppose if you are going those properties, those 4 properties, we can easily observe that they are actually true here. I mean those properties which make any distance measure metric distance. Symmetric property you can very easily see here. So whether you are converting idea to deal, I mean whether you are going from deal to idea or you are coming from idea to deal, they have actually the same distance. So it's a symmetric distance measure, and similarly we can also prove that it is a it also satisfies the triangular inequality. If the 2 words are same, then obviously the identity property is going to be same. And I mean identity property which says that if you are comparing 2 words, comparing 2 same things, the distance should be 0. So that is also true here. And the property whether you are comparing A to B and B to A, I already said, and triangular property is also true. So all these required properties which make a distance measure a metric distance, they all are true here. So this distance measure is a metric distance measure. Okay, let's take another example. Suppose kitten is given and sitting is given, and you have to compare these 2 words. So to make the kitten, you have to convert kitten to sitting. You have to first substitute. I mean, you have to delete K and you have to insert S in its place, and then the substitution of I is required for E, and then there's one insertion required for G. And these 3 operations, if you perform, you will get sitting from the kitten. So since there are total 3 operations required, the distance between these 2 is these 2 given words is 3. Okay, there are some very obvious bounds that you can decide that you can define for this distance measure. Both upper and lower bound you can decide. You can define, and they are very trivial. I mean, if you just see go through them, you will find that they are quite trivial. So if you for the edit distance, it is always the edit distance between the 2 given words is always at least the difference of sizes of the 2 strings. So if you have one string, let's say AB, and another string ABC, so it says that it is going to be at least the difference of the sizes that you have in 2 strings. So if let's say you assume that the common portion is same, so in that case at least you have to insert in this example 1 character here to make this word same as this word. So how many characters, if the common portion is same, then how many characters you need to insert here? That is equal to the number of characters that you have, or more number of characters that you have in the another string, and the number of characters that you have more in one string, that basically defines the difference in the size. So this has size 2, another one has size 3, so the difference is 1. So you need basically at least one character, one operation to convert one string to another string, and this is at least. But if suppose your string was AB and ADC, then obviously you need more number of operations. So this only defines the first property that you see here. It defines the lower bound. Second, the distance is at most the length of the longer string. So whatever distance you will have, so this was defining the lower bound, and here we define the upper bound. So what can be the maximum distance between the two strings? Maximum distance you will get when, and it is going to be equal to the length of the longer string, and you are going to get that when you don't find any overlap between the two given strings. So suppose you have one string as A, B, and another is C, D, E, and F. So there is no overlap. There is no common thing in between. So for every character, you have to convert this string to this string, you need to actually do operation with respect to every character. You have to remove, you have to replace, maybe you can say A by C, you have to replace B by D, then you have to insert E, you have to insert F. So number of, if there's no common portion in the two given strings, then you will get the case where you'll find the maximum distance, and that maximum distance actually defines the upper bound, and that comes out to be equal to the length of the longer string. Okay, and I think this is very trivial to see. And the distance is 0 if and only if the strings are equal. The two strings will have 0 distance only when they are equal. If they are not equal, then obviously you need to at least perform some insert operation to make them to convert one string to another string. So 0 distance between the two strings can be only possible if they are of equal length. Another bound that we can define, with the help of the Hamming distance. So you can say that if the strings are of same size, then Hamming distance can tell you the edit distance. And if you know, I am sure you must be knowing about the Hamming distance. This basically tells, in given two strings, it tells how many, if you let's say consider the binary string, so it tells how many bits are in the two given string, how many bits are different. Okay? So in edit distance also, you need to perform the operation at the places where you have different characters. If you have the same character, you don't need to do any operation. So with the help of Hamming distance, you can find out how many characters are, how many places you have different characters in your string, and that can directly tell you the edit distance. And in this case, you will also find, you'll also see that the triangular inequality will be satisfied. So if you have three strings, if you compare the string between the distance between, if you have, let's say, 3 strings, and if you compare the distance of this string to this string, this is going to be always less than what you are going to get if you compare this string with this string here, and this string with this string here. Okay, so this distance is going to be less than this plus this. So triangular inequality also satisfies here. And normally for computing the edit distance, we use dynamic programming. We are not going into the details of the dynamic programming, but you can browse through the available literature and see the technique for this. Okay, where we can use edit distance. So one is obviously you can, if you are searching a particular word, or if the two given words are there, you can just find out whether they are same or not. But this is actually mainly used when we are doing error correction or pattern matching. Okay. One good example is, let's say you have a document where you have, let's say, digitized it. This was a, let's say, paper, and you have scanned it. So when you scan, let's say you scanned ABC, or maybe let's say you scanned, there was a word class in the text. But because of the poor quality of the paper, or poor printing, or because of the noise, or because poor printer you have, let us say in place of, when you scanned it and you are doing the word recognition, or when you are, let's say, segregating these words from the text, you found that all these characters have not come clearly. What you could only get is, let's say, C, A, S, and S. Okay, these are the only 4 characters that you could get from the text. Now you have to find out, when you are, let's say, converting this text image to a correct text image. This is a scanned one. Now you are improving the quality of the characters that are missing there, and you are going to get a new improved text. So to get the new improved text, what you have to do? What you have to do in this particular example, you should actually replace this whatever you have here, or you don't have anything here. This need to be replaced by L to make it a correct word. So to find out what can be, or what is the possible word that you can have for this this word here, you can use edit distance. You can use this, let's say, CASS, and you can go to the library and you can find out the distance of CASS with all the available words in the library, and it is expected that you will find the distance of this word with class the minimum. So you can say that this word is nothing but class. So in that case, you can do error correction. You had some error in that scanned text, and with the help of this matching, you could correct it. Okay. And obviously, for the pattern matching, you can use, you have 2 given patterns which are defined in terms of some characters and or some bits, and you want to find out how similar they are. So then you can use this distance measure. Okay, so as I just explained, character and word recognition, you can use edit distance. And one issue, what is the formula we have seen in this here? In this, there is one problem, and let us understand that with the help of, let's say, this example. Suppose there is a string AB, and there is a string A, B, C, and D. You will see that clearly they have distance 2. Okay, but now let's say there is another string A, P, Q, R, S, and T. Let's say this, and there's another string with which you are comparing this string A, P, Q, R, S, T, and let's say you have at the end M and N. Okay, now if you compare the distance between this string and this string, you will find that here also the distance is going to be 2, right? But if you compare these examples, you will find that in this case, in the first example, half of the string is not matching. In the last case, you may find that just very little fraction of the string is not matching. So whatever notion or significance you get from this 2, it is not same in both the cases. This 2, in some sense, is much have higher importance compared to this 2, right? Or this 2 tells that these strings are very dissimilar, but in this 2 is not actually telling that the same information, because here the number of characters are more. So this problem is coming because our distance that we are defining is not normalized. So if we convert this edit distance to a normalized edit distance, then we'll see that this issue that we are discussing here can be overcome. Now, how can we normalize this? So the one easiest way to normalize this is by using the length of the strings that you have. So maybe you can divide it by the maximum length that your strings have. So in that case, you will find, suppose if you divide this 2 by 4, then you'll find that for 50% are not matching here. But here, if you divide 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so you have total 8 characters. So if you compare this 2 by 8, it says that only 25% is not matching. But if you see here, you divide 2 by 4, it says that 50% string is not matching. So obviously, 25% match is much better than having 50% match. Right? So if you convert edit distance to the normalized edit distance, then this issue can be handled. Okay. There are few other distance measures that I'm not going into the detail, but I mean, if you have interest, you can go through them. Chi-square distance is also heavily used. Earth mover distance is another distance, which again used to compare the vectors. Mass distance is also, there's another distance measure which is quite often used for comparing the vectors. So these distance measures, I'm not going into the details of them, but you can, if you are really interested, you can go through them. And if I'm not discussing anything here, then you can assume that that is not included in the syllabus. For your own interest, you can read it, but as far as the course syllabus is considered, whatever I am asking you to read, that is not included in the syllabus. Okay. Yeah. So with this, let us conclude this class as well as the discussion on the distance measures.